Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well, if not at the very least okay. It's a struggle out here, but we're trying. So I've been wanting to do this purse charm DIY for a long time. And I know you hear purse and charm and you're like, didn't you just make a beaded purse chain for charms? Why, yes, I did. But this is different. We're putting charms directly onto a purse, essentially securing them to the purse so that they're permanently on there, or semi-permanently. You can always remove them, but I've had this idea for a while to do a haricot vert inspired purse. And I'll put the brand name up there. I don't know if you say it the way I said it, haricot vert, but they do a lot of, I think it's jewelry and then purses mainly. I could be mistaken, but I believe it's those two. And they make their own charms. Usually they're like printed images of products, logos, objects, etc. You know, like anything really. And I've been wanting to do my own version of that on a purse I already own, without purchasing anything or purchasing limited supplies to do this, because I know I have the supplies to do this. Essentially, I had these two black bags here. I have this one, which is more of a rectangular shape, and it's knitted, and it just has a zipper up top. Very simple purse, and I thrifted this a long time ago for the purpose of whenever I wanted to go out and I didn't want to take a full, like a shoulder bag with me, and I just wanted to do phone, keys, wallet, and then I can just crossbody it. That way I wouldn't have to carry anything this way and I could be more hands-free. And then I have this one, which is more of a square shape, but same situation. I got that one at a flea market, and it was a lady who was making them and selling them. And when I bought it, I completely forgot I had this one because this one was buried in the bottom of my closet. I remembered I had both of those, and I thought I don't need two knitted black small crossbody purses, right? So I was like, I need to do something different with one of them, or I at least want to try to DIY one of them. So this bag originally actually had like these, it's on like a little chain, but just the keyring part, the circle part, it had I wonder how many, like 3 rows of like 6 of these. And I thought it looked cool because it had like hardware on it. And I thought, oh, I can maybe tie like a ribbon or something in between those. And I did do that at one point, but it didn't exactly look as great as I thought it would. So I was like, okay, womp womp. And I thought I would try the DIY on this purse after going back and forth. So decided to leave this one plain, and this will remain plain for when I want more of a simple situation. But this is the one I'm deciding to DIY for when I want a little bit more pizzazz with my outfit, because especially for concerts and performance venues, as many of you know, now they require you to bring in, I believe if it's not a clear bag, it's like a 4.5 by 6.5 inches purse, which both of those fit under. And then if not, you can bring in a bigger purse, but it has to be clear. And I do have a clear bag for concerts for when I want to bring more of my things with me, but sometimes I don't need all that stuff. So these will work great. And so really wanted to add some charms to this purse and make it that kind of haricot vert inspired vibe. Let's get started. So forgot to say that you do also need pencil, paper, and if you want tape, and then your images. I ended up tracing my images straight from my tablet. You could also technically do this on your phone, or if you did not have access to that or did not want to do that, you can also just print the images out. The only issue is that you might have to print them a couple times to get the size that you want, and I just didn't want to deal with that because I was just gonna end up throwing those away. So I opted to trace the images straight from my tablet that I had saved. And I first start by just filling in all the colors, and then I go in and fill in the solid black outline. If it does have an outline, not all of them did, but for most of them they did. And this specific Cupid clown that I'm doing, it does end up on the purse, or not the specific one, but a Cupid clown does end up on the purse. This one ended up being way too big. I was using Daiso shrink plastic because it was what I had and I didn't want to buy anything additional. And it said it shrunk to a fifth of the size. It did not. It shrunk to more like a third of the size. So this ended up being way too big. You'll see a comparison later on in the video. I'm glad I made it much smaller. It fits more of the vibe that I wanted. The big one was just a bit too clunky. After I finished outlining it, then I just cut it out with my X-Acto knife and some scissors. And then here they are baking, getting nice and small. I ended up making 2 to start for testing. And then I did do a clear coat on top of the charms, just a nice thin layer before putting on resin, because I noticed that when I was doing the Cupid clown, this is the original one that you saw me drawing in the beginning, there was debris in the resin whenever I cured it, and I did not like that. I assumed it was from the paint markers, so I ended up doing that little clear coat just a little bit. I wanted a primer, but all I could find was a top coat, so that's what I ended up using, a satin top coat. And then I just ended up topping them with resin to give them a more professional look and feel and give them a glossy look as well. So these were the 2 test charms I did, and they look fine, but they were just way too big. This is the Cupid that actually ends up going on the purse, as you can see, much better in size. And then these are some seashells I got off the beach of South Padre Island on one of my many trips, and I just added some rhinestones. And then shout out to this locket I made and put a picture of my dog in, very cute. And then these are the only charms I bought for the actual purse. And I just laid them out first so I could get a sense of where I wanted everything to go.
You're all I want! You're all I have!